For everyone born, a place at the table. For everyone born, clean water and bread. A shelter, a place, a safe place for growing. For everyone born, a star overhead. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. For woman and man, a place at the table, revising the roles, deciding the share, with wisdom and grace, dividing the power. For woman and man, a system that's fair, and God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. For young and for old, a place at the table, a voice to be heard, a part in the song. The hands of a child in hands that are wrinkled. For young and for old, the right to belong. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. For just and unjust, a place at the table, abuser abused, with me to forgive. In anger, in heart, a mindset of mercy. For just and unjust, a new way to live. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy. Yes, God will
Faith UCC.
Good morning.
Very good. The Pinot Wars are back. And what we're playing today is a call to prayer. So we'd like to be called to pray for all of the people in the world who are suffering from the wars that are going on.
Good morning. Please join me in our gathering litany. The words are up on the screen. When your glass seems to be half empty, when bad news seems to be omnipresent, when despair is right around the corner. Remember, love is constant. When hope seems only for the naive, when joy seems hidden in the miasma of every day, when happiness comes only in dreams. Remember, love is constant. Love is a song of creation. Love is the star of our soul's presentation. Love is the language of God. Translate that love, interpret that love, render that love into action. And welcome, everybody. Welcome all those of you who are here in this sanctuary and those who are with us online. We're so glad to be worshiping together today. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Barbara Turner Delisle. I'm a retired UCC minister, and I'm around here quite a bit. And I'd like to introduce our very special guest speaker today, Florence French Fagan. And she is the senior state organizer with Bread for the World. How many of you have ever heard of Bread for the World? Yeah, that's great. It's such a wonderful organization. I was happy to participate in writing the letters way back when I was a young adult in the church that I went to in Wilbraham, Mass. So Florence is the organizer serving in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. She is well-traveled. She mobilizes people across the Southeast to advance equitable policies for reducing hunger. She is passionate about helping people change their understanding of why poverty exists and discover ways to make a positive difference. So soon you will get to hear Florence. So let's begin by singing our congregational hymn, We Are Called. Please stand as you are able. Of centering. Feel your feet on the floor, the seat beneath you and behind you. Allow your eyes to close if you're comfortable. And let us be at prayer together. Eternal timelessness. Thanks to circumstances beyond our control, we are blessed with good fortune. We have bread on our table with abundance. We have clothes for all occasions. We have roofs over our head that some families in other parts of the world could only marvel at. Our faith is one of action, action to share our largesse with the greater community, action to urge our lawmakers to act with justice and compassion, action to speak up in defense of those who are in need. As a body of faith and love, let us work together to make our world a more loving and just planet. And now we'll have some special music. Beautiful. Thank you, Amy. So time for our congregational chant, and as usual, the choir will sing it through once, and then we will sing it through 3 times. And the words are on the screen. Today I'm going to share with you my thoughts on stewardship and how I plan my giving. And I grew up at a time when tithing was talked about quite a bit in the Congregational church, and that is what informs my giving. It's sort of how I plan my giving for the church. And I learned that from the Congregational church as well as from other spiritual practices that I participated in and that I learned from. And the theory behind that is that a tithe is a tenth of your income, and you give it to that which supports you spiritually, that which draws you closer to God. And I can't think of any place that's better than this place, than Faith United, in drawing me towards God. This church, this community, is so full of God. You're all bright lights out here. And there are so many opportunities to feed your spirit, from the gorgeous, amazing music that we get to hear every week, and the wide variety of music, not just from our choir, but from beautiful artists who play violin, or from Strings and Things, or from the drum circle. We have multiple opportunities to meditate, either in quiet meditation, unguided, or walking the labyrinth. We have abundant opportunities to gather together in community, another way that supports my spirit. So there's so many ways. Food is amazing here. And reading and writing groups and comedy. The list can go on and on, because what feeds your spirit is welcome here. And Faith always makes a space for that. So I invite you to give generously. And there was a saying way back when, give until it hurts. and it's amazing how it will open you up. So that's my take on stewardship. And now let us hear from our choir. Our scripture reading today is from Romans 12, verse 20. If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If she is thirsty, give her something to drink. No one is exempt from the call to feed the hungry. God calls us to meet the needs of even those we might call enemies. Now I invite Florence to come up and share her message with us.
Good morning, everyone. I am not used to standing still. I like moving around, but I will do my best to be still. There is light, and there is grace, and there is beauty in this room. Thank you for inviting me into your community. I want to introduce you to Bread for the World. For those of you who do not know who Bread for the World is, you can go to the next slide. Oh, do I have a clicker? Okay. Oh, look at that. All righty.
I'll get the slides for you.
That's okay, I have a clicker.
Okay.
Thank you. Bread for the World was started almost 50 years ago by two men of faith in New York City who looked about them and saw the amount of hunger and struggle and poverty that existed. And they wanted to do something about it. But they didn't want to open up another soup kitchen or a food pantry. They wanted to understand, what are the root causes of hunger? What keeps people in a cycle of hunger and poverty? They decided that they would advocate at the federal level. So today, hopefully, you will be encouraged to write letters, and you will be writing letters to your senators and to your member of Congress around the issues that we're advocating for. I want to pause for a moment and read our credo to you and sort of ground us. We are moved by God's grace in Jesus Christ to work for justice for hungry people. They may be in the next house or in the next country. No matter where they live, they are our neighbors, and we have the power to help. Charity alone is not enough. We must urge our government to make fair decisions so struggling families can provide for their children. We must write personal letters and emails to Congress and engage our churches, campuses, and other organizations. We must change laws and structures that allow poverty to persist. When we turn our faith into action, God uses our voices. Again and again, we win help and opportunity. 2 fish become many, 5 loaves become enough to feed a multitude. God is moving in our time to end hunger, and we are a part of this great liberation. It is our mission to help our neighbors wherever they live. They are hungry, and we are bread for the world.
One in 4 children under 5 are severely malnourished, but it doesn't have to be that way. You can help today. I'm inviting you, your church, and your community to participate in Bread for the World's offering of letters, a powerful tool to organize letter writing events encouraging members of Congress to end hunger. Simply writing a letter may not seem like much, but I assure you, every voice matters. With your help, we can reach the people with the power and resources to make hunger a problem of the past. Join me by going to bread.org/OL to get started today, and thank you.
Florida with a team there, and both Senate offices were represented, as well as the office of Maxwell Frost and I forget the other one. But when one of the constituents asked, what can we do? You have spent the past 2 hours with us here, seeing what we're doing here in this farmers market, understanding how legislation can impact community. And her name is Riley. She stood up and she said, the best thing that you can do is continue using your voice. Continue writing to our offices. Continue calling until you have reached victory. So last year, we spent the entire year having conversations with different members of the community, with churches, with colleges, with business leaders, with farmers, and asking them, what is important to you about the Farm Bill? What should we focus on? Has everybody here heard of the Farm Bill? So every 5 years, it has to be reauthorized. Other than our defense, this is the largest piece of legislation financially that our tax dollars invest in. Hunger around the world is at an all-time high because of COVID, because of climate change, because of wars. Hunger exists here in the United States, and it also exists, obviously, around the world. In the Farm Bill, there are provisions for both domestic and international. Specifically here in Dunedin, in 2022, it was a challenging year during the pandemic. 36,000 children lived in food insecure households. Food insecurity is defined as not knowing where your next meal is coming from. So 36,000 children just here in Dunedin are food insecure. The CARES Food Pantry distributed almost 400,000 pounds of food to almost 9,000 households. That is the extent of hunger right here in Dunedin. Very quickly, is there one person who'd like to share with me their experience advocating for the Farm Bill, if you did? A few hands went up. I see you smiling. Do you want to share? No? Yes? No? All right, maybe later on when we're out in the hallway. So I don't know how well you can see this map here, but the number of people that are impacted by diabetes and other health-related issues are in the millions here in Florida. And it costs the state of Florida almost $25 billion, I believe it is, because they don't have access to healthy food. So within the Farm Bill is a program called SNAP. How many people are familiar with SNAP? Okay, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Within the SNAP program is something called GusNIP. Looking at that chart there, you see that 3/4 of the funding in the Farm Bill goes to the SNAP bill, the SNAP legislation. So that's why we are so focused on 3 things: on nutrition, on equity, and on sustainability. Like I said, we have a 1 in 5 year opportunity to vote in a way that is going to lift people out of poverty, but not just lift people out of poverty, but really move the needle on ending hunger and poverty in communities if we have the willingness to do what is right. I'm going to share information about a few bills that are called marker bills. Right? I told you we spent about a year listening to the community on what we should be working on, and now we're at the point where we actually have marker bills. If you don't know what a marker bill is, it is the intention of a member of Congress, of a senator, to fully support something, and he or she has the intention of galvanizing his or her colleagues to support this initiative. So it's going to be NAP to SNAP, the expansion of GusNIP, well, I'll talk a little bit more about, expanding SNAP to communities who don't have it now, to address food date labeling, which causes food waste in our country, and to protect something called Food for Peace, which affects our global community. So in Puerto Rico, they have what's called NAP. It's a block grant. They don't have SNAP. So here in the United States, We have a SNAP that is an ongoing program from month to month, and then if we have an emergency, it kicks up into high gear, and we saw that during COVID-19, right? We had responses to the pandemic. Puerto Rico doesn't have that. A third of their population is food insecure. So when they run out of funds, they just run out of funds and they have to wait until the next year. And when they have an emergency like they did with Hurricane Maria, they cannot respond to it. So I don't know about here in this area, but I know in Central Florida, there is a large Puerto Rican population that has moved here for this reason, because they can access SNAP. The thing is that they pay taxes just like we do, but they don't have full benefits. So the first bill that we're going to be advocating for is that Puerto Rico move from NAP to SNAP. And Bread for the World is ecumenical. We are nonpartisan. And the reason that we have been so successful over almost 50 years is because everything that we do is in a nonpartisan way. So all these bills that I'm sharing with you have support both in the House and in the Senate with Democrats and with Republicans. The last thing I want to share about this bill is that Puerto Rico has confirmed that they will pay the administrative costs, which is in the millions, of moving from NAP to SNAP, with the guarantee that within 10 years, they will be on the SNAP program. The next thing that I want to talk about is GusNIP. GusNIP stands for the Gus Schumacher Nutrition Incentive Program. It was a pilot program that started in Massachusetts many years ago, and it was so successful, it is now in all 50 states. What it does is if you are a SNAP recipient, you can go into a farmer's market or into a grocery that accepts GusNIP, and you will get twice as much for your SNAP dollars. So let's say you have $40, you will be able to get $80 of fruits and vegetables, because the incentive is to access healthy food to prevent families from getting diabetes and other health-related issues, and then costing our government millions of dollars in health costs. It's just common sense. The other thing that the GusNIP bill does, it supports the local economy. So here, for example, in Florida, if you go to a farmer's market like I did this week in Orlando and then in Miami, the farmers there are growing local food, and they are receiving benefits from those SNAP families that are coming and using those GusNIP dollars. So you're putting the money back in the economy, families have access to healthy food, and it's a win-win on both sides. So there is a lot of support in Congress for this GusNIP bill. So as soon as Congress can figure out what's going on now and get back to talking about the Farm Bill, this is something that we support. I told you that there are certain groups that do not have access to SNAP. One of those groups are returning citizens with a drug felony charge. This dates back to the 1990s under what's called the War on Drugs. There are 11 states that still say if you ever were caught with any amount of marijuana, you are banned from ever receiving SNAP benefits. And what that does is it increases recidivism. There have been multiple studies here in Florida and in other states that have shown in those 3 months that they had a pilot program and those people had access to SNAP benefits, there was no recidivism. They got on with their lives. They were able to just try to get back into the community. So we're supporting the ban on SNAP be removed. And again, it is a bipartisan bill. As a matter of fact, it's Congressman Rutherford out here in Jacksonville, Florida, who is a big champion of this bill. I love him. He's such a good human being. I don't have it on here, but the other group that doesn't, it's a barrier for them, are college students. 40% of college students are food insecure in this country. They are going to college, but they are hungry. Some students are homeless, some students are living out of their car, some students are attending every activity on campus so that they can have access to whatever food they are serving. That's not right. They are there to get an education, to try to improve the trajectory of their life, so we believe that SNAP should be made available to college students. 30 Yes, 30% of the food that is produced in this country ends up in our landfills. It goes to waste. When that happens, it creates greenhouse emissions, it destroys the soil, and the soil also is already being destroyed by Big Farm with the fertilizer and the other things that they are putting in that soil. So one of the things that we can do to address this is what's called a National Date Labeling Act. There are 2 dates on the products that you buy, a sell-by date and a use-by date. Many households look at the sell-by date and say, oh, this is expired, and they throw it away. And the food is perfectly good. So I know in my household, we become very, very self-conscious of this. So if this bill were to pass, there would be a standard across the board that all of the grocers, supermarkets, and such could follow to hopefully address this. And this just shows you the billions of meals that are wasted, the sales that are lost. Again, all of these things are common sense laws. The last thing that I want to share with you is Food for Peace, especially in the times that we're living right now. Food for Peace has been around for 60 years. It has served over 4 billion people. It is meant to help people in a time of war and crisis. About 2 months ago, there was a bill, it's there on the right-hand side, that was introduced to slash this by 76%, simply because the people, the members of Congress who introduced this bill, didn't fully understand what this bill does. So it is our responsibility as constituents, as people of faith sometimes, to educate our members of Congress. They don't always know what it is that they're voting on. So we were able to stop that bill from progressing because of bread leaders from around the country who were willing to meet with their members of Congress, to write letters, and to educate them and say, no, we will not support this bill. The truth of the matter is, though, until the Farm Bill is voted on, someone could always reintroduce it. So we have to stand vigilant. This Thursday, if you're interested in learning more about bread, if you would like to engage with other people like you from around the Southeast and hear what they've been doing this year, how has their advocacy made a difference? How have they built community? And just the many things that they've been involved in, I encourage you to join us. It's a Zoom meeting, it's virtual, at 6 o'clock. I want to share this video with you because this is an example of not just what Bread for the World can do, but what we can do when we are in community. We had a team of people from Bread for the World who traveled to Kenya last year, along with faith leaders from all across the Americas, to see for themselves what were the people of Kenya doing to address climate change, what farming practices they had. And this video was created from that experience there.
climate, hunger, and what touches one part of the world affects everybody else. So I'm happy that we can come together from all over the world and sit around the table and say, what can we do? How can we prevent hunger? It is our duty, our godly duty, to take care of it.
So when we're speaking about the intersection of climate change and hunger, this isn't some theological academic abstract. It's real life. So when they tell us that 70 million more people might be thrusted into extreme poverty, we need to be sounding that bell as loud as we can.
Hunger in our lifetime if we address the root causes of hunger. Here in this country, we have destroyed our soil with big farming. We know that systemic racism has caused hunger and poverty. That's why in the SNAP bill, we are addressing the populations and the demographics that have been marginalized. We just need the willpower to do this. We have to persevere, and we have to hold our members of Congress accountable and help them to see that this is something that is solvable if we look at all of our humanity. If we look at the fact that every one of us is God's child, and we have the right to eat, to live in a safe environment, and to feel safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Florence. This is such an important topic, and I hope we can all write some letters and make some change to help eradicate hunger. Thank you. So let's hear from our wonderful choir again. as we come to our time of joys and concerns, I'd like to remind you that in the future, if you have any joys or concerns, to write them on a little slip and just put them in the bowl here, and they will be read from here. So we have a joy from Ellery. It's Cliff's birthday today, October 22nd. Happy birthday, Cliff. And also from Ellery, his granddaughter, Kylie, auditioned for the Ocala Community Orchestra and was awarded first chair saxophone. That's a huge accomplishment, so congratulations. So a particular joy I have today is to introduce you to a couple of new members. I would like to introduce new members, Maureen and Ralph. If you could stand up. They are both talented artists. In fact, Ralph is the one who painted our little library outside, that gorgeous building out there. And Maureen is also a talented art educator and loves animals. They live with their equally talented cat, Olive. So welcome, Maureen and Ralph. And they also, their daughter and son-in-law just had a baby, so we'll see them here once that baby gets ready to come to church. So, and also we have a joy. Last Friday, Barry Blood completed 87 trips around the sun. So, happy birthday, Barry. All right. So, our pastoral prayer, we have joys and concerns that have been shared with our faith community. We also have private thoughts and prayers that are set in our hearts. Let us be mindful of these private concerns as we say this interpretation of the prayer that Jesus taught us. Let us join together. Essence that is in us, that permeates every fiber and molecule of the universe. Awe-inspiring is the thought of you. Let us ponder your closeness, compassion, empathy, understanding of all creation. Give us what is necessary to live and wipe clean the slate of our mistakes, our unkindnesses, our failures to act, as we forgive the unkindnesses and mistakes of others. Help us to do what is right for our world and keep us safe as we avoid the pitfalls of existence. For you are us, our connectedness, the energy, the power, and the magnificence, for all time, eternity, and timelessness. Namaste and amen. And for announcements, so we have the Annam Cara Women's Circle 5th Annual Tiki. And that's Saturday, November 4th, 2 p.m. in the Butterfly Garden. Please sign up if you can so that we have a count of who might be there and we're well prepared. And we have very special guest Terry Conroy and friends with a ukulele demonstration and lesson. So you get to come and play the ukulele. So that'll be a lot of fun. And let's see, what else do we have? We have, remember, Oktoberfest is next weekend and the craft fair next Sunday. You can still buy $5 tickets and join in the fun. And Oh, poinsettias for beautifying our space for Christmas. You want to make sure and order yours by next Sunday, October 29th, and pay by Sunday the 12th. And order forms are on the table by the bulletin board in the gathering space. So be sure to do that. And I don't have it written. I don't know if it's up here. No. Oh, Faith Comedy Night. Oh, there's a surprise.
What's the best part of Switzerland? I don't know, but the flag is a big plus. Hello, friends. This is me, myself, and I. And you might agree with me that there's nothing like a good joke. And what you just saw about Switzerland was nothing like a good joke. Well, yeah, that's right. Many of you find yourself funny, and I find some of you very funny. I hear stories that other people need to hear, and you make me laugh on a one-on-one basis. You need to get up there and make other people laugh as well. If you're not confident, come to one of our coaching sessions, and we can help you work through that joke. Work on the timing, work on the phrasing. We can do it. We'll make you funny. If your parents could make you funny, we will. That's right, me hearties. If you think you can do just as well, or better, or if you'd like to help make other people do a great job in preparing for the event, setting up, running the spotlight, selling beer and wine, then we're glad to have you help. So, avast me hearties and join us. Send us an email to laugh@faithucc.org. And see you there.
And I just also would like to let you know, be watching for an announcement for December 9th. We will be having an Advent retreat with Reverend Janice Lowell. So more information will come about that. And also remember your birthday cards for Jim Neal's 100th birthday, which is on October 30th. We are collecting cards on the back high table, and the church will send them. The goal is to send him 100 cards. So if the church will send them, or you can find his name in the directory and send them yourself if that's what you'd like to do. So I'd like to thank you all for being so supportive financially. This church, like I said, it's abundant in its blessings, and you all are just such blessings for this church, and give joyfully and generously every week. And you can give in many ways through Venco or PayPal or your own bank's bill pay service, or you can even write a check. How about that? That old way of giving. So anything will be helpful. So please get a bite in hospitality. Florence will be out there if you have questions for her. The letters to sign and write will be out there. The letters are written. All you have to do is sign your name, and you'll see it'll be obvious what to do. The screen will have the addresses of your congressperson and legislators. There are 2 printed letters, so look for those when you go out. And the church will be sending them, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll be collecting them and sending them. So let us now sing our way out to hospitality.